One and we are on. Welcome back to the Ghost Gabbers. I'm Joe,
And I'm Jason,
and we are here to talk about ghosts.
and hopefully two ghosts.
Exactly. Today we're going to be kind of focusing a little bit more on a little bit of our origin story in regards to what got us interested in the paranormal and why we do it today. So
We're going to talk a little bit. First, we're going to start with what started our interest, and then we're going to get into some personal experiences. For me, I guess it started when I met this guy. I always had a kind of semi interest in it, but when I met him and our fellow teammate Darlene, and they had the same mindset in it, it really piqued me and wanted me to get out there and do this more. As far as you,
I've always been into the macabre. I've always enjoyed
Right.
the darker things of like cinema, and now being older and able to go to certain places that have the claims of paranormal activity, I have people like him who are willing to go to these places, who have the same kind of thought process as I do in regards to the afterlife. Does it exist? Does it not? Let's find out.
right?
So having people helping out in that aspect,
So
it kind of helped with that creativity of
Yeah.
understanding. Since I have people to go with me, I can actually fulfill my childhood dream of
something we
team.
talked about in our building a team video is you want to make sure that people have like-minded attitude.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I was always interested in horror movies when I was younger, and all the way up till now,
Still there.
still there. So we're gonna get into our. Both of us have a little list here of our top five personal experiences. That was 10.
5 for him, 5 for me.
Yeah, okay, 10. So,
Not comical.
so my first one is we were lucky enough to go together as a group to the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California, and do a nighttime investigation with a paranormal investigator. Don't want to use the word professional. We'll get into that at another time. Anyways, we were down in the locker room area, and we were with a group of probably about 12.
Yeah.
And we were spread out, and we were doing an EVP session, and I was standing near the investigator, and me and him both heard a full-on disembodied voice, which was absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, we couldn't document that, but this is a shared experience. We were able to document down in the engine room a full-on EVP that was intelligent response to questions we were asking. But we also had great response with these things right here, the dowsing rods. And I think we've posted that, or I don't know.
We posted the
EVP.
The EVP.
Right. It was a worker named John Penner who died because he was crushed by one of the doors. And it was just an amazing experience all around. And for those of you who know who Andy Milanakis is, he actually was there and investigated with us. So that's my first one. What's your first one?
Okay, I'm gonna kind of coattail off that one. These are in no specific order.
Right.
It's just our top 5 experiences. It doesn't mean that top 5 was the worst one. It just means that in a non-particular order, these are the areas that we enjoyed. I'm gonna jump on that one that he just said, the Queen Mary. As I was conducting the dowsing rod experiment, Darlene, our team member, and Jason were asking the questions to see who we were speaking with. Darlene had made reference, and I just showed somebody that video today, or the audio today. And as Darlene said, "We're sorry that you lost your life," and Jason asked, "Is this John?" And as I'm holding the rods, I can feel the pressure of them closing, cross if yes, and I can feel them crossing. You can hear audibly us responding to what we saw. Sure enough, a couple seconds afterwards on the EVP, we didn't hear it. EVP definitely says something is there. The word that's there, not going to tell you. You got to go and take a look at the other video to find out what's
We don't
going
want to give you the power of suggestion, but it's definitely an intelligent response and direct response to the questions that we're asking.
So for my first one, basically feeling the presence of something pushing those rods together, knowing that if you have them too high, they start to fall by themselves, or if you hold them down too low, they go where gravity takes them. You hold them just right, it can be manipulated by whatever energy is there, and I do believe that John was the one who pushed them. So number 2?
So number 2 for me is we discovered a pioneer cemetery called Savannah. We don't want to just give the location too much on a lot of these places because we don't want them to be overwhelmed, but we were fortunate enough to be in contact with the caretakers and be able to do a nighttime investigation. And the first night, we just had some incredible readings on a lot of our EMF meters, some great EVPs, just an overall great experience. I personally was in one section and had a slight conversation through the EMF meter with one of the residents of the cemetery, which at another time we went back, I still had readings in that spot. So just an overall great night. We're going to post some of that. Joe caught some great EVPs on one of his sessions in the same spot when he was off by himself. Just great experience. Pretty much on that. I mean,
okay. I'll take over. My second one was also an investigation that we did at a residential home. Within the homeowner, we want to thank you for allowing us to come out. Anonymity, we're not going to say the names. Anonymity.
Not Amityville, but
yeah, we're not going to say the homeowner.
Anonymous, anonymous yes. Homeowner. Definitely, if you ever do an investigation in a private residence, do not disclose the location because you don't want those people to be overwhelmed and swarmed by a bunch of kooks.
Yes,
let's say.
Exactly.
Right.
So from that experience, it was at the end of our session. We had gone upstairs, downstairs, into separate rooms. We've had personal experiences to see what's going on. Some people went inside of a closet and had their own little session by themselves, locked inside. If you're claustrophobic, this guy walked in there by himself, a small little area, and conducted the EVP experiment. At the end of it, we asked the homeowner if we could pray for them. And after we prayed, we all prayed, and we were in somewhat of a circle. Within that circle, at the end of the prayer, a warm gust of wind shot out into each individual person from the center. So within that, it was a mere fact of it didn't feel angry or hostile. It felt more comforting, and each person had a smile afterwards because of what we felt.
Right.
That experience in itself it's a personal experience. No one can take that away from us. They can say, well, can you recreate it?
No.
So that's my number 2.
That's actually also on my list, and I'm going to add to that a little bit because like you said, I had that experience in the room where I did capture a response from a little girl. And once again, not going to tell you what was said because it's something we're going to post at a certain time. And once again, shout out to the homeowner. That's all underneath the Wilmington House videos. So let me get to my next one. So we've found, which one do I want to do?
Starting with that.
No, there's no particular order here. Back to Savannah. Well, no, we're going to skip that one. We're going to go to Calvary Cemetery. In the mausoleum downstairs in the basement, we were conducting an EVP session while filming. This is another shared experience and a video that we have posted where we both clearly saw a shadow figure where there should have been no shadow figure. And if you watch the video, you see us debunking our experience, which is what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But once again, it was a personal experience and a shared experience, and it was just absolutely amazing. And this mausoleum is kind of cool. If you do go there, please go with all respect
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yeah, great shadow figure. Unfortunately, we just didn't catch it on film, but we will one day.
We just missed. It was a
Right.
full-on shadow, and we
Full-on
both saw
shadow.
it. And
Right.
we just got like little kids in a candy shop. We just got we got giddish, and like
Right.
I grabbed my phone and started recording, and it was an amazing experience.
And we're not saying it was paranormal. We just could not explain it in any way whatsoever.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go on with my next one, and this one we're going to go to Lomita for one of our first investigations in residential. This particular one, the homeowners had claims of different things happening inside the house, and they also said that there was an area in the back they did not like to frequent just because they didn't like the energy there. Once again, shout out to those homeowners for allowing us to come and investigate, and it was actually really cool going out there during the daytime.
Right.
And we walked into the back where they took us, and they said, yeah, we don't like going in this area. As we walked in there, Jason had his first experience and then didn't tell me anything. Said, come here, just come over here and just stand here. So as I go and stand in that little section, it's a literal small hole, about roughly 4 square feet, or circular feet. You get inside that little circle, all of a sudden you feel lightheaded, your stomach starts to feel weird until you step out of that circle, and all of a sudden you're good. So we found a vortex there, which obviously makes it to where I wouldn't want to be in that room if that happened every single time and only in that spot. Something's weird. But what happened later, I think less than 20 minutes later, we actually started recording there. And sure enough, we're seeing orbs only in that little circular area.
Right.
And they're just constantly going everywhere. And as I'm recording Jason, one manifests out of complete blankness and created its own light source. And then focused right around Jason and
right across my chest.
Right across his chest, and just went down. And throughout the period and the rest of that video, they're constantly swarming around him. So that particular one, like, that's our first experience of capturing an orb have its own light source and its own path of flight.
Right.
So it created its own, compared to where dust goes everywhere the wind goes. This focused, stopped, came back, and then just went down. You can clearly see it. Another video that's on the Gabbers.
Right.
That was also the Lomita house. Take a look.
So I guess I will go back to Savannah. We were there the same night, and oh no, this is actually a different night. We went back a second night. This is total personal experience, and it was just an absolutely weird night. We were there for about 20 minutes. We were getting set up. We were starting to do things. The sheriff department came and said we had to leave because somebody had called and said we were smoking crack in the cemetery.
Wow.
Right.
Because it amplifies how you communicate.
Yeah, I guess.
So you can actually see them.
Right. So also on that note, we had a couple other weird things happen. And it was like something was telling us not to be there that night. So we ended up going home, and probably about the witching hour, 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I looked out my bedroom door into my living room, and I saw a shadow figure clearly walk through my living room, which absolutely freaked me out at first. So I grabbed all my crystals and warded my room. And since then, after that, there was no other. Yep, he's got one on right now.
Black tourmaline.
Well, that's another video. We're going to get into that a little bit more. But yeah, it was a total personal experience. Once again, not saying it was paranormal, but why was this shadow figure walking through my living room when there was nobody else in the house? There was no backlight, nothing of that sort. Just felt like something might have followed me home, but I'm okay. Warded myself, and just, yeah, pretty amazing experience.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump away from Savannah. I don't even have Savannah on there. Great place for us as far as locating. We had a bunch of personal experiences.
Your picture that you caught was pretty cool.
Yeah. I caught a picture that looks like from many different things. I think I see a kid. Someone else said they saw a goat. Someone else saw a woman. Someone else just saw something else there.
Yeah.
But every single time, you always focus on one spot to one particular area. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what you see. It's the fact that you see.
Pretty cool. I think we'll put that up in the coming week, and then let you guys decipher it.
Decide for yourself. Yeah. My next one. This is something I really didn't tell him, but I had an experience when I was younger, and I called him like my invisible friend, and his name was Charlie. And I actually had my little sister, and I told my sister to watch what happens, and I'm like, hey Charlie, turn off the cable box. And right after I said it, the cable box turned off, and my sister didn't know what was going on. I'm like, you have the remote control, and I pointed, the remote control's over there on the table, so watch this. Hey Charlie, turn it on. And then the cable box turned back on. So there's no one else, and it only happened when I asked. So it's not from the radio waves through someone else's remote control who lives on next door or behind. And this is, I almost want to say, pre-cell phone era. This is pager era. So so we're not even dealing with, you can type little things and
right.
There's no way that I can explain.
Could have been an electronic malfunction.
It could have been.
Could have been.
But the fact that it responded to me when I asked to turn it off and to turn it on, and it did it, it's not paranormal. Just weird.
Right. And a personal experience. And anytime somebody tells you a personal experience, just take it as it is, because you've all had your own personal experiences, and we can't refute them, and we don't want to. Right.
Okay. Next up,
that was it, right?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did all mine. Queen Mary, 9. Oh, yeah. Well, the other one was the same one as yours with the Veronica, with the Wilmington House with the.
Thank you again, Homer.
Yeah. I talked about my experience inside the closet with the voice, but also the feeling that at the end when he was talking about the warm sensation, which, man, to this day, when we talked about it, I could feel it. It was just amazing.
A great feeling.
Right. So
I still have one more.
You still have one more?
Yeah. Back at the Wilmington House.
Oh yeah, I know what you can talk about.
So we had a EVP session downstairs inside the bar area, and when a question was asked, one loud knock happened coming from upstairs. As we all looked at each other to see what was going on, we looked at the homeowner, and she just smiled and just nodded as if that's what I live with. So then Jason prompted me to go upstairs, gave me my phone, and I took off, hit record, started walking up the stairs slowly. And as I walked down, there's 2 directions to go. I was prompted to go to the right, because that's where the knock sounded like it came from. So I walked up, went through, sat on the bed, and as I'm recording, you can definitely see orbs coming from the other bedroom coming through. And I'm asking whoever's there, the grumpy old man is one of the spirits that was there. I was actually calling him out to come and talk to me. And then through that, I asked, go ahead, touch my hand. And he came, and there was an orb that manifested and came, touched my finger, and bounced off. And we have that on a video as well. Take a look at it, decide for yourself. If you think it's only dust, then it's dust that responded to my question and specifically landed and then bounced off, compared to just flying through.
Orbs are super subjective, but they are a real phenomenon. That's been scientifically proven, but not necessarily paranormally proven. So, like you said, decide for yourself.
Exactly. Right. That's, for the most part, anything paranormal is based on your experience, your belief. If you don't believe in it, then don't worry about it. If you believe, there's people out there who want to hear your story.
Exactly.
So on that note, we are the Ghost Gabbers, where we talk about ghosts.
And hopefully 2 ghosts.
So if you guys have anything, drop a like, drop a link, subscribe to this. If there's any questions you guys have in regards to the paranormal or why we do what we do, keep watching some of the other videos, and one of your answers might be, or one of your questions, we might have an answer for it.
Right, exactly.
So just keep on watching and get ready, because we have a whole slew of investigations coming soon.
I always appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We'll see you on the next one.
Gabbers out.
And it's not working again.
Gabbers out.
Gabbers out.
Okay.